Sports Speak Podcast. This is Aaron Daniels, your host. I'm sitting with a good friend of mine, man. This is actually the first time that we actually got to sit down and really just chop game, man. I've known this cat for a couple of years now. We hooked up playing basketball with and against one another at Rogers High School back when Jimmy Walker was the boys' coach and Josh Berry was the girls' coach. And this cat right here had that old school game, man, and he done made quite the transition into a different lane in life. And he's got a heck of a story to tell that I think he should share with folks. So I got Julian Peters here with me. How you doing, Jake?
Pretty good, man. How's it going?
Everything's everything. So I got me a whole list of things I want to talk to you about. So we just gonna roll.
I love to talk, so let's do it.
All right, man. So where you from, dog? Because I when I first saw you, like I said, I was in Tulsa, so I'm thinking that was home for you. But apparently, that's not where it began. Where did it come from?
All right, so I was originally born in Muskogee, Oklahoma. Shout out to Muskogee.
Oh yeah.
But wasn't raised there. I was raised in Norman, Oklahoma. I went to, like I said, elementary school, middle school, and my first 3 years of high school at Norman North. Then I transferred to Victory Christian in Tulsa, and that's where we ended up meeting. And it kind of just kept going from there.
For real. Yeah. Now, what brought about the move? What was it? Was it a new direction for the parents?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, man. My mom wanted me to go to Victory my freshman year.
Oh.
And I was like, man, that's a private school. Not
feeling that.
I had no clue what was going on. I remember watching high school hoops back at the time as Azubuike was there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He was killing. And
I remember that era.
All right, like this might be something to try. So about 3 years later, my mom was just like, we moving to Tulsa. And in my mind, being a basketball player and a football player at the time, going to Jinxon Union wasn't an option.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to get a fair shake there.
Exactly.
So we ended up picking Victory. I met the football coach. It wasn't even a basketball decision at the time.
Oh, yeah.
The football coach was like, you come here, you're going to play.
Straight up.
I said, well, that's where we're going. That's how it got started.
And that's pretty interesting because, a lot of student athletes don't necessarily have that perspective. A lot of times, I know me personally as a kid, I would take, certain people's analysis of me kind of personally and be like, man, if I can't go and play at the school that's said to be the best, then why play?
Right.
But it was a strategic move.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man.
Even though, namesake-wise, Union and Jinx, that's the head honcho.
Right.
Okay, so was football the first love sports-wise?
No, never.
Never, huh?
So basically, I grew up as a basketball player. I played AAU ball, played middle school ball, the Optimist Gym over here in Norman.
Yeah.
I lived there. That was my home.
I feel it.
YMCA, too, down here. That's where I started. And my dad was a big football player. My dad went to OU. He was a top 10 All-American out of high school.
Okay.
Out from Houston, Texas, Defensive Player of the Year. Like, he was that dude.
He was that dude. What's his name, man, for the listeners?
His name is Julian Peters.
Okay.
If y'all from Oklahoma, I'll give y'all a quick little trivia lesson.
Oh, yeah, break it down.
1985, there was an Oklahoma football player that received a shot from one of his teammates.
Oh, wow.
My dad was the one who took the bullet.
Ooh.
Barry Switzer wrote about it in his book and everything.
Yeah,
so that's my pops. So
look at that.
When I say Julian Peters, they think there's Peters from Paul's Valley that's like real famous. That's not me.
That's not you.
My
Not
dad's
yet.
from Houston. Not yet.
There you go. He on his way.
My dad from Houston. So once I was, like I said, I was playing ball. Man, my dad was really into football. One day he told me, he told me I was like 13. He's like, man, basketball's hard to play. Like, it's going to be hard to make it.
Right.
Many spots. You need to play football.
Low-key tried to talk you out of it?
So they low-key tried to talk me out of it. So I kept playing, and then this is when I stopped. We moved. We moved from here, and we went to Arlington, Texas in my 8th grade year. I did a little bit of moving before I came back home to Norman. But I tried out for the team. Mm-hmm. Got down to the last part. We played 1-on-1 to 5 for my spot. Played the kid 1-on-1 to 5.
Oh.
So it's 4 to 4. I get by him. I'll never forget. Jab step, went by him, going up for the layup. He hacked me. Fouled the mess out of me, so I missed the shot. Smart play by him.
There you go.
Came back, mixing this when he made it. I cried home, walked home, didn't make the team. I just quit playing ball for like 5 years.
For real?
So from 8th grade year all the way to my senior year of Victory, I did not play basketball again.
Now, when you say you didn't play basketball, do you mean you didn't play organized ball?
I didn't play organized ball. The only thing I played AAU ball my junior year before I moved to Tulsa.
Man, that's a story right there, dog. That's a story for all you youngins out there that think you got it rough because you just got through getting cut or somebody told you weren't good. That's pain right there. What he just said, man.
I was done, man. We moved again to Atlanta, and I mean, you can say I was intimidated, but it's a new city, new state. I just was like, man, I didn't play no sports.
You're just a student,
So
huh?
I just a student. And then we moved back to Norman my sophomore year of high school. I just played football.
Yeah.
It's crazy too because I went to school with all these cats. So they're like, "Hey, you playing ball? Like you coming?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm still hurt, man, from getting cut in 8th
Crushed.
grade." Man.
He was in a funk, huh?
Yeah. So
Now, about that time where you were just a student, not an athlete, man, I can speak to my own experiences whenever I was in college, and I kind of hit some low points, having to reassess and be like, do I really want to play ball anymore?
Right.
But ultimately got me to stick with it and not let go of the rope is the fact that the thought of being just a student scared the hell out of me, man. Like, were you able to stay on track, I guess, as far as your behavior went with being just a student?
Oh, no.
He's shaking his head over
not
here,
at
y'all.
all. I would say from 9th grade to about sophomore year, I had my troubles. And like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't no troubled kid to the fact where I'm like gangbang.
Yeah, you were on high risk.
I wasn't high risk. Like I'm the kid that was talking too much in class or just say something goofy to the teacher to get you in trouble.
Right.
I knew better because my mom would kill me.
Yeah, for sure. You
I
gotta
knew
have
it was
that.
up. But grades did suffer just from not paying attention. I never really thought about it as it being because I wasn't playing sports. It was just I wasn't ready to be in the 9th grade, man. Like when you think about it, we moved to Atlanta. The high school we went to is called Kell High School.
All right.
Brand new high school, upstairs, downstairs, 2 football fields, 2 soccer fields, huge lunchroom. They had just built this.
Right.
Man, I'm from Oklahoma. My wife, I love you, but it was women in there.
There you go.
18-year-old girls walking around, and I'm 12, 13. Like,
Oh, boy. Head turning.
it just wasn't. It wasn't. I wasn't ready, man. So
I got you.
That's where the grades fell off.
I hear. I mean, well, the good news is, I guess we both been a part of the lives of some who have been at risk and who dealt with some real challenges. So I think that's pretty commendable that you're able to keep the head on straight, going through all those changes. Now, as far as the social aspect of it, did moving around make it a little bit difficult for you to connect?
Not really, man.
Not really?
Like everywhere I went, I mean, I talk to anybody. So that ain't ever.
I think I know that about you.
Yeah, I'll talk to anybody, and I'll say it was a different culture change moving to Atlanta, and where it became like when I was in Oklahoma, I was kind of like the cool kid.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But we dressed different. Like,
That's right.
I moved to Atlanta. This is the tall tee time.
Oh, man.
Throwback jerseys.
Yes.
Like, I'm wearing.
I remember that era.
Button-up shirts and tight jeans and stuff, and they looking at me like, I used to get roasted when I first got there, so I had to switch up my whole style and everything.
Did you have the jokes though? Could you blast back? Could you clap back?
Oh yeah, I clap back.
There you go.
And like again, I wasn't playing organized ball, but we still had PE. We still had hoops, so they knew. Like big, I was big too.
True,
big dude can hoop. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
big dude.
And that's always. I don't care what anybody says. If you're a pretty good athlete at any sport, you can adjust anywhere you go.
Yeah,
you're gonna gain respect on whatever field or court you're playing, and you'll get friends and all that from there. So it wasn't that hard socially.
And game recognizes game too. It's a weird way. I've seen some weird bonds and relationships get built just from sports.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Now, while we're talking about sports, once you made the transition back, not just to the state of Oklahoma, once you came east to Tulsa, who did you end up connecting with, man? Because I ended up getting to know you through some mutual friends, man.
Yeah. Oh man. So when I first came to Victory, I remember reading a magazine.
Right.
My boy Rob was in it, Robert Crawford.
Yeah, man.
And they was kind of making him up to
Black
be like
Smoke.
The next Black Smoke. They was making him to be like the next Kalina Azubuike.
Yeah.
At the time, he was a sophomore, I think. And so when I got there, he was a junior. And he actually, crazy thing is, wasn't the first guy I met. The first guy I met was TJ Pettit.
Oh, yeah.
I met TJ because I played AAU ball, like I said, my junior year, and I came down here. And we played Basket of Dreams. Mm-hmm. And so Mark Rutledge.
Right. They had
Mark Rutledge's dad.
True.
I ended up meeting them and TJ, and they was like, I was like, yeah, I'm moving down here. We ended up beating Basket of Dreams. We was two black dudes and a group of white boys.
There you go.
Them.
Went out there and
Came
took
down
over.
to the wire, man. It was a good game.
That's what I'm talking about.
And Mr. Rutledge, he'll talk to you and let you know. So I was like, yeah, I'm moving down here. I think I'm going to go to Victory. He's like, oh, you're going to fit in good there. You're going to be good right there. Yeah. I had no clue I was getting into.
Right. Did you think he was blowing smoke up your butt
at that time? Bit, you know what I'm saying? Because, at that time, I thought Victory was like the promised land because I seen Azubuike. Like, I didn't know what I was getting into.
Exactly.
But I ended up meeting Rob, and we still friends to this day. And then his little brother, we kind of grew up like family, all of us together. And TJ, there's Vic, and then Mark Rutledge as well. Still talk to them. And that's kind of how it was. I honestly was a low-key kid, though. Like,
right.
if you seen me, it was probably because I was with Rob then when we was hooping. I know that's how we met. That's Rogers. And even at Rogers, I wasn't really running my mouth like that. I just come in and hoop and go. You know what I mean? So.
But that was one of those types of venues. That atmosphere, man. You had to have the ability to go there, though, or else you get chewed up.
Definitely.
You gotta have that other gear.
So.
And now I think we leaving one name out, and I was sitting back waiting on you to mention it, man. Derek Waters, man.
I always forget about Max
Quotes.
I always forget about Derek.
That might be one of the funniest cats on earth, dog.
Derek, and again, Derek's still in my group chat. So we all talk every day.
See?
Me, Derek, Rob, my friend Vic, my homie Mike Lee, the football guy.
Right.
But Derek, I actually ended up meeting him. I think that's why it slipped my mind. I met Derek later.
Okay.
So I was already cool with Rob them, and then Derek came in the picture like that summer after.
Because he went to Victory too, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to Victory, but it was after I left.
Ah,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So after I was already a freshman in college, because they's a year younger than I was.
See.
So, but yeah, Derek, like you said, funny guy. I mean, I tell people to this day, that's one of the most athletic, as far as jumping dudes I ever met in my life. Yeah. I ain't never, and I actually we got to play together. Me, Rob, Derek. And we Mark, we went up to a rec league up in RSU. Man, I threw Derek a oop from an out of bounds play one time, bro. I was like, man, if I could play with this every day. Either way, I like to pass the ball, man.
Exactly. Because you had a little Chris Paul in your game, man, if I can remember right. You know what I mean? Because I always, like we were talking off air a while ago, well, I got a special appreciation for the type of players that may not be as blessed and gifted with the athletic traits that a lot of cats just lean on.
Right.
And I think in a lot of cases you can make up for what you lack in talent and athleticism with skill. And you always were a guy that thought the game to me and just made the right reads. And that's the type of stuff that makes it to where you can play even till when you dang near 40 years old.
Oh,
you know? But that dang Derek boy, he can get above the ring. He ain't never been slim neither.
No.
Got some weight on him.
He got weight all the time. He still can jump. Just the athletic beast. But yeah, man, a lot of guys, when it comes to hooping, I think they forget that, man. You keep fundamentals in your game and you keep the skill and the thought process.
There you go.
Is there. You can play with anybody.
Oh, yeah. Even the youngsters that may be a little better.
Yeah, man. And I got to the point where I figured out I could be more physical with dudes and just mentally beat people up, too. Mm-hmm. So, defensively, it's no reason I should be able to guard some of the dudes I was guarding. But a couple of bumps, man, stop crying. And, their whole game was done. But you got to figure that out early.
Oh, yeah.
But you can be that guy. And then, of course, nobody will ever disrespect my handles.
There you go.
They were better than anybody.
Had it on the screen.
Either way.
I like that. Got to have it up in you.
Right.
Now, looking at where you are now, which we'll get into a little later as we go, but you were not just a college athlete, but you're a college basketball player, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And talk about your journey, though, because I kind of watched you from a distance. Right. I remember you being at Oklahoma Wesleyan, right? Mm-hmm. Go through that for me, man. How'd all that come about?
Well, it first started at Bacone University. I went to Bacone College.
Did not know that. Did not know that.
That's where when I left Victor, I went to Bacone. I redshirted my first year. Mm-hmm. So I met Chevis Miller.
Yeah. It's your hometown guy, my man.
Big bro for me, man.
Got to get him on the podcast.
Yeah. So shout out to Chevis. But met Chevis, and he actually helped me start to develop a work ethic. That dude worked so hard. I remember being a freshman, and he was the man on campus. He averaged 17, 18 a game last year, so everybody knew him. And it didn't matter what time it was. Chevis was in the gym, cone working, hitting jumpers. I'm like, okay,
this is what it's about.
That's what I got to do, you know. And at that time, Kobe was my favorite player. Kobe made hard work cool anyway.
Yeah, you're right. And I've been seeing you cause a bunch of ruckus on the media, calling him the GOAT.
You know, Kobe is that dude to be. So. But so basically, I went to Bacone. I played on the JV team first. Worked my way up to the varsity squad.
Right.
Played some games, man. Then met a female. Dropped out of school.
Completely?
Went to Tulsa. Dropped out of school. Went to TCC.
Yeah, TCC, the fallback.
My mom was hot. She was like, you were dumb. The girl wasn't no good for me. I ain't gonna mention her name.
Yeah, I got you.
Ended up going to TCC for a couple years, and I played in the rec league at TCC.
Yeah, you probably was up there eating one.
Man, I was killing folks. And at the time, they had a team from the Metro side with Dante Ziegler, Kendall, Fennell, all them.
Guys I grew up with.
We played one game. I gave them 30. They beat us. I gave them a nice 30. And I remember the ref being like, bro, why are you here? Go play. And I ended up going up to Westland and trying out, and I made the team.
Just like that. Walk-on status.
Walk-on status. So I go to next year. This is my story, bro. It's ridiculous. I go to next year, but since I went to TCC and I only went part-time, I didn't have enough credits to play. So I had to sit out. So I sit out a year and waited.
Just so y'all know, TCC is Tulsa Community College.
Tulsa
You know what I
Community
mean?
College.
Okay,
There's
proceed.
no team there.
None.
So I'm at Oklahoma Wesleyan. I sit out a year. Then my coach leaves. They brought me in. We get a new coach. And our coach leaves. The starting point guard left. And then another guy left on our team. So we got a new coach, new team.
Clean slate.
Clean slate.
For better or for worse?
For better for me.
Yeah, for better for
Not
you guys.
for better for the team. But for better for me. So I battled for my spot, man. And I ended up starting every game that year. I had a lot of ups and downs. Had to figure myself out. Like I knew how to play, but I would get nervous. Didn't want to shoot the ball.
Right.
At one point, I was shooting 40% from the three, and still scared to shoot. My coach was like, "You got to start shooting the ball, man."
I got you.
But I was always pass first. Like I love passing the ball. That was my game. Like I love passing the ball. So I ended up, getting my stride towards the middle of the year. Once conference hit, we got better, but we obviously had a down year. So you fast forward to all that. I ended up staying in Oklahoma West. I got my own place, staying down there for the summer, working out every day. I started working with the track coach, help my speed.
Yeah.
Working with the coach, he bring in recruits. I'm there. Like I was doing everything.
You all the way back into it
by then.
I'm all the way
back into it. Get to the season, school start, practice start, and then I got declared ineligible by the NAIA.
For what?
Because when I went to TCC, even though I went part-time, they counted that as a year. So they said I'd been in school for 5 years. So I couldn't play. So.
And this was which year of yours?
This was my senior year. So.
As in last year of eligibility?
Last year eligibility. I didn't know that.
Bruh.
So it was over. And at this time, I went into a depression, man. I almost fell out of school. Like I got D's. Like senior year, I almost didn't graduate. Like it was over with. But that's what it, man. So that year before that, I mean, I played well, learned well, passed the ball well, always played good defense. That was never a problem. And then I'm like, man, now I'm ready. Like that's what I was thinking, and it got cut off. But at the end of the day, man, like I'm a Christian dude, so I'm looking at it like that's not in God's plan.
Right.
But I was still depressed.
True.
And then that's kind of what led me into the journey that I'm in now.
Right.
By that shutting down, I ended up walking into a weight room at the school. I lifted a couple times and just became addicted, man.
Yeah.
Like, it just
got hooked.
It just got hooked, man.
Now, was weightlifting a big part of your preparation process before that point?
No, you can ask anybody I went to school with. I was a kid that was eating pizzas, drinking 2 liters.
Oh, absolutely.
When we had team workouts, I used to hate them. We used to do conditioning. Like my coach would be like, "You need to finish first." I'm like, "That's never gonna happen."
It's never gonna happen. Like, first of all, y'all killing me.
Yeah, I was like, nobody's gonna go by me, but I'm not gonna be beating nobody in a sprint. Like,
I might make the time though.
Yeah, so that's how it was. So I was very unhealthy, and a lot of people I would tell people like, "I ain't never gonna have abs." There's no way to do it, man. It's not my genetics. So I used to tell people that all the time.
I'm gonna rock this tank right here and just be good.
Yeah, I tell people that all the time. So yeah, this is a complete switch. What I ended up doing from being a basketball player that really wasn't caring about them things to switching it up.
Now, when you switched it up, when did you know, or when did it go from you just liking the lift to you being like, you know what, I want to take this from a hobby to a lifestyle?
I would say once I graduated college, my first job was I ended up in Bartlesville getting a store manager spot at GNC. So I ran like my own store up there. That kind of first started it. Well, I started having to learn about supplements, products, how your body works, different things like that.
True.
But I would say the true obsession where this became a lifestyle was when I did my first competition. Because it was that competitiveness that I was missing from hooping was back.
The fire was burning for something else.
And I got my butt kicked. That's the crazy thing too. It wasn't I won. I got murdered when I got up there, but it was I got to keep doing this.
I got to get back to the stage.
Yep.
Now, did you have to find some people to confide in as you were going along the way?
Yeah,
or was you just swinging in the dark?
No, I got a coach. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a coach right now. I don't do this by myself because you need that extra eye. You know what I'm saying? I like to take away any of the strategic nutrition planning and all those things that can get time consuming, that can mess with your head, start questioning yourself.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize stress really affects the body. How you react to things, how you respond to things. Your stress levels are high, it can ruin your whole physique as far as what we do. So some people, you'll see them like a week before, and they like look great, and they get on stage, they look like crap. It's because their cortisol levels got high from the stress and everything that they're bringing in, and they just end up watering out. It's crazy, man.
So I'm assuming that you have a way of maintaining that or regulating that, rather.
Yeah. Obviously, like I said, my first couple shows, and I'll go a little bit deeper into that once we get into it. But my coach keeps me calm, and I believe in myself enough to where I really don't pay attention to people. So everybody's backstage together. You got to think about that, okay? Yeah. So when everybody's backstage, you can literally turn and see this just monster.
Right.
And be like, oh my God. So I try to keep my head down. Yeah. And I don't know if you watch boxing. I'm a big time boxing fan.
Oh, but, yeah. I'm a moderate boxing fan. Okay. I can't front that like I'm a rabbit.
Man, I love it. Oh, man. So Oscar De La Hoya, one of the things he used to do, like before they fought, he would look up in the air. He would never look at his guy eye to eye.
And that could be misinterpreted a lot of times as being scared.
But
yeah,
it's not.
Fear.
It's just, you know that you don't want to get psyched out. You don't want to mess with your mental. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that stuff happens. Like, I don't... Yeah. Even in basketball and hooping, like one of the things I used to do to keep myself calm, my mom came to every home game. Mm-hmm. So I would run in the stands while we was warming up and she'd pray for me. That's where I had to have that.
Had to have it.
And I was good after that. And if it was a away game, I'd call her in the locker room and she'd pray for me. That's how I would, like, everything was calm after that. So I've always been that kind of guy.
So that killed all the intimidation right there, huh? I'm glad you mentioned your mom, man, because like I said, I troll a little bit when I'm on social network.
I'm not worried about it.
I do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I do love positivity.
Right.
And here's one thing that I've always done, whether it's good or bad. I always mess with some of my partners whenever they mama's boys. You know what I'm saying? And I know you're a big mama's boy, man. Listen, how important is your bond and your relationship with your mom, man?
Well, I'd say as far as the man that I am, some of the accomplishments that I've made, she gave me that vision.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. Like, one thing I can say about my mom, she sacrificed a lot. We had a lot of ups and downs, the lights off, not having a place to go. But at the end of the day, we was never in a bad neighborhood, never had to worry about walking anywhere. She always worked extra hard to make sure I could play my sports and do whatever I could. And she made me think that, like, going to college wasn't an option. Like, you're going.
You're going, brother.
You got the vision. You're going. And then once I graduated college and did the master's, it was her. She was like, you can keep going. I was like, I'm done. She was like, you can keep going. You really can do this if you want to. I'm like, oh, I'll go apply. And then I got accepted, so I kept going.
Then you had no excuse then.
No excuse after that. So she's just always been the type of person to, keep me humble as far as being a Christian, make sure God's first, but also continue to give me vision.
Absolutely.
And then same thing with my wife. Like, she helped me get into the doctorate program. She found the program.
Wow.
Yeah, she was like, you should try this out. So every woman in my life so far, her and my mom, have been they say, a man with a dream needs a woman with a vision.
True that.
I feel that 100%.
100%.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that the man with the dream got to be married to that woman with the vision. That woman could be his mom. Just, showing how to do things. So, yeah.
Sounds like two very influential people in your life, man. Now, what are you pursuing now? You in a PhD program, correct?
Yes. I'm doing a health professional education.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially, long story short, right now, we've been learning about a lot of different leadership styles. One of my classes, we've had a couple of stints in education technology and how that's starting to be implemented, like flipped classrooms, all those things like that.
Right.
At the beginning, we learned a lot about helping physicians, doctors, nurses better manage patients.
Nice.
Because that's something that's been going off, in the world. You go to a doctor, you go to an ER, like the EMT does one thing, and then the nurses ask you the same question the EMT people ask you, then the doctor has no idea what's going on. It's just like a really big lack of communication.
Right.
So that's one of the things we're there to do, or we're learning to do, is to be able to teach people how to better manage.
You know what? That actually simplified a lot of stuff, because now that kind of answers some of my questions about what I would have when I go see the doctor. Like, man, it seems like there's a bunch of red tape all the time.
That's how it is. But it's like, I think, and it's obviously going to be harder, but what needs to happen is the development of universal language for all medical facilities.
Right.
If you have a situation where it's a communication level where people are actually listening and it's the same language, then I think you can alleviate and kind of remove all those red tape situations. So basically, when you start from the EMT and they bring you in, or if you go to the doctor, you go to a nurse, and she said something, like I think it should be a universal language.
Same terminology kind of thing?
Everybody could just feed off the same terminology. I think it's crazy right now, like even certification-wise, like to be, certified in a certain area, you got to take a different state test. That makes no sense to me.
Good point. And me being an educator, I feel the same way. And I haven't taken a test in another state to compare it, but I've talked to educators that work in different states, and they talk about, man, when I came from Oklahoma, I had to get certified again. And I had to I took that test so many times in Oklahoma. I was donating money. So I wouldn't ever want to do that again. So I feel you on that right there.
Don't even get me started on, my master's in education, so don't get me started on education in Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a fan. So.
but you got it done though.
Yeah.
You got yours.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, let's take it back to the physical side of things.
Yep.
Now, you seem to be very committed, very diligent, very disciplined in everything that you do.
For the most part.
And for the most part. And I like that you highlight the human side of things. Like whenever you got something that's a vice that's pulling at you, you go ahead and take a picture and drop it right on the ground. Look at all these donuts, man. All that right there. Now, how do you stay locked in and not dabble in that forbidden fruit right there, man? How you keep your feet on the ground?
First of all, I'm human, so I've dabbled in that forbidden fruit before.
There you go.
I'm not gonna lie, and I wish people wouldn't lie about it. Like everybody's not perfect. Like somebody's gonna mess up somewhere. If I do, what I don't do is let that continue into day 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
I got you.
Which is what some people will do.
Yeah.
There's a saying that I always use: one cheat meal doesn't make you fat. One salad doesn't make you healthy.
I like that.
It's consistency that makes this happen. So if I do mess up, I got to realize that I got to just jump back on what I was doing.
I hear you.
But for the most part, it's because I have a goal in front of me. If I'm trying to get to a certain level of physique or a certain show, I know that 1 or 2 donuts or whatever can affect that and stop it. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Not to say I'm not human, but that's kind of how I look at it. And I got people. The funny thing is, man, it'll make you laugh how many people know what you're doing that don't do it, but love to call you out if they see you doing something. That makes it even better.
Hey, we ain't supposed to be doing that, though.
Like coworkers, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you looking at those? I'm like, chill.
I can't look at those.
Yeah, chill out. So yeah, man. Everybody that follows or knows what I do, they'll call me out, and that'll make me mad. I don't even want to eat it after that anyway.
Oh yeah, so it works for you then.
Yeah, definitely.
I like how you flip that. As a bodybuilder, now, what are some of your vices though? When you think of a whole bunch of stuff you know you ain't supposed to have, but you know you want it every time you see it. But what's some of your go-to?
Donuts for sure.
For sure.
Hertz is right around the corner too. So.
Oh yeah.
Donuts. Brahms is a god to me right now. So, and we live close to that too. So
right.
That's horrible. That's pretty much it, to be honest. Like, it comes in spurts. So, like, it's some days where I'll be like, man, I really want a pizza. I ain't had pizza in a long time.
Right.
Or,
it just kind of hits you out the blue.
Fries sound good right now. But really, if I had to narrow it down, donuts and Brahms, like ice cream and burgers, is like,
that's what it is.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now, compare the disciplines for me. To preparing for the sports that you play, basketball and football. Are those the only 2 sports that you play? Basketball and football, preparing for those and getting yourself in shape to be able to go and compete at a high level versus getting yourself in shape to compete at a high level, standing on that stage as it pertains to bodybuilding. Similarities at all?
There's no similarities.
No.
I don't think so.
Gotcha.
I actually had a conversation on Facebook with a kid about this a little bit ago.
Right.
I'm like, I play basketball, then I play football. But when I was playing basketball, and granted, I went to an NAIA school, so it wasn't like I was a D1 guy or nothing like that.
But the next level is the next level, though.
Next level. I was eating pizzas, drinking pop, and I still was in shape and still could go play ball.
Right.
So what you got to understand is when you're eating or, doing whatever for athletic performance, it's not necessarily going to hurt you to go have a pizza and stuff. After games, what do we eat?
Oh, yeah, we're going to get the pizza. So something quick, something convenient.
Quick, you know what I'm saying? Before games, pasta.
A lot of carbs.
Things like that. Well, when you're doing bodybuilding, your every move affects what you're trying to do physique-wise.
Right.
When I wake up, I'm doing cardio in the morning. When I come home, I'm eating a certain meal. I got to eat my meals every 2 to 3 hours. I got to make sure that my supplementation is on time as far as timing goes.
Right.
It's a whole lot of small details and big details that go into bodybuilding that just makes it completely different as far as preparation level. It was mind blowing to me when I first started. I'm like, if somebody tells you get a tablespoon of peanut butter, if you do a tablespoon and a half, like it affects you. Because you'll do a tablespoon and a half for 7 days, where you don't realize that you're adding almost 6 grams of fat and another 8 grams of carbs per serving of that half a tablespoon.
Oh man!
Every day that affects your calories. That affects you losing weight. That
Literally adds up.
It keeps adding up. You don't have to do that type of thing when you play football or basketball.
Right, you're gonna burn it up.
Burn it up. You know what I'm saying? So,
now, who does your meal prepping? Is that you or?
No, my coach is Michael Fulson. He's out of Oklahoma City.
Okay.
I met him. Actually, this is what when I first started, I did a show, didn't do well. Then I did another show, and during that time, I was getting ready to move to Oklahoma City. I was in Tulsa.
True.
I was getting ready to move back to Oklahoma City, and I was talking to some people, and it was a girl and another dude that was on his team that I was talking to. And he was like, "Yeah, man, you should hook up with Mike. Like, he's good. I think he'd be good." So I went to a show, did the Oklahoma, 2015.
I remember that one, man.
13 out of 15, man, at my class. But I met Mike there.
There you go.
And he was like, "You gonna move down here?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, you got potential, man. Like, hit me up." So as soon as I moved down there, I hit him up, started working out with him. He did my diet and stuff. That next year, I won overall at Battle of the Bodies. And then I did Oklahoma and placed third. Instead of 13th.
Yeah.
Then I went to a national show and I got like 15 out of 35 guys. So good, but not what I wanted.
Yeah, sort of middle of the pack kind of.
But that was like, I called it, at the time, Drake had just come out with that Summer 16, Looking for Revenge. So that was what I was on.
That was your fuel, huh?
Yeah, man. I was like, I'm getting my revenge for the Oklahoma show. You know what I'm saying? So,
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh man, so it worked. You connected with the person you wanted to connect with, and it's still a good relationship going strong now.
Yeah, we're
huh?
still good, man. He's coaching me now. There's been a time where I wasn't working with him, but we've still been friends. You know what I'm saying? He's still like a big bro to me. So even if down the road I was to get another coach or something was to happen, like we'd still be bros. Like it's not like a situation like that.
Now, strategically, what would go into not just you, but generally speaking, anybody? I guess changing. I don't want to say leadership, but changing that partnership.
Man, sometimes you find out that your body stalls and you're not growing.
I got you.
And it could be that the person who's leading you doesn't know, what needs to be done next. There's a different level as far as state shows, national shows, and pro level shows. So,
gotcha.
Basically, you win your conference. And then you go to nationals.
There you go.
And now you're playing everybody that won that conference. It's a different ball game after that. You know what I'm saying? So there's some things where, a coach might not be ready for that type of level. Or you just might, you guys hit your peak. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than being, a guy in the NBA, starts with a team, does what he does, and he ends up leaving. It ain't necessarily because he hated the coach or something. He just felt like, I can be better over here.
And maybe it's time.
It's time to go.
Time for that change.
It happens.
Man, and you know what? I think that shows a lot of maturity right there. That's professionalism right there.
Yeah, it's a business.
Yeah, it's a business. And then it doesn't have to be, man, forget that dude, man. We ain't good.
No, I'll never salt. I've had coaches before Mike, never salted their name, had no reason to, and I've left them for reasons. That I could have went and spread it out on Facebook and stuff. Yeah. That's not, it's a business. I'm paying these guys at the end of the day. This ain't free. So I pay them to be my coach, so it's a business. Like that's how it is. I hear a lot of people scream loyalty, and it sounds good until something happens.
Oh yeah, and it really tests the relationship.
So when we talking business, I don't see much loyalty in business these days.
I got you.
I ain't trying to be that guy, but you like even the KD situation, like
yeah. That's the easiest one to harp on too.
I mean, y'all would if they trade KD the next day that he didn't go to Golden State, are we still screaming loyalty? You know what I mean? Like,
he's loyal to us because he came back.
No. They have the power to do that.
That's true.
What I mean? So it's business.
All right.
Yeah.
As far as the process goes, you going through it. How many years in are you at this point?
4.
You're 4 years
5, right around there.
Has it ever gotten discouraging to you?
All the time.
All the time?
Yeah, man.
Where you get to second guess a little bit?
Dude, it's a tough sport. You're going to second guess through the process of going through a prep when you're doing an hour of cardio in the morning, an hour of cardio at night, eating these meals. Your body might be changing, but since you see it every day, you might not see those changes. That's why a coach is good to have. Right. Because he's actually, I've been like, man, I don't feel like I'm doing nothing. Like, ain't nothing happening. He'll send me a picture from like 3 weeks ago to now and be like, what are you talking about? Yeah. For that mental aspect. So, you're going to question yourself. You're going to doubt yourself. To me, that's what makes it so, like, fun, man. It's like, it's more than just a physical thing. Like you really mentally battling yourself to be better than you were. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's crazy. Like I'm eating this meal to look better 16 weeks from now, over and over and over again. Like it's a tough battle. So I've been discouraged. I've wanted to quit. I've wanted to leave shows, like all that. Just fight through it.
And did it ever turn out to be as bad as you thought?
Never.
Never.
I mean,
you're your toughest critic, aren't
yeah. Like, I'm always been my toughest critic, and you got to realize bodybuilding is a subjective sport.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, really, as dumb as it sounds to me, because I love winning.
Yeah. Who doing?
The battle is being a better you, because at
Right.
the end of the day, the best you might not be better than the guy that's against you. We're not talking about playing defense and hitting the shot.
Right.
This is pretty much a beauty pageant at the end of the day. We're
like
getting on
that.
stage and reflexing.
I like how you
know
put
what I'm
that,
saying?
man.
Yeah, like I'm being for real about it. Like people ask me all the time, is bodybuilding a sport? And I'm like, I don't think so. Like I think you got to be athletic to do it. You got to be disciplined, but we're not. Our competition is not going at somebody and being better than them at hitting a jumper or running touchdowns. Like we can't do anything to physically do anything to cause a win.
Yeah.
It's what the judges down there see. It's a subjective sport. So.
Dang, competing against yourself versus against somebody else.
Right.
Man. I like the way that sounds. Was that So you would say that sports, since you don't categorize bodybuilding as a sport, is sports easier to you?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think the actual game is easier.
Mm-hmm.
I think the preparation process is way harder in bodybuilding.
Okay.
What you have to do to prepare for your game, like first being on stage compared to hooping or football, is way tougher.
Way tougher. And let me ask this while I got it on my mind before I forget. I mean, when you talked about having to eat meals every 2 or 3 hours, about how many meals a day of consumption is that?
Right now, I'm doing like 6 meals a day.
Dude, and did you have to train yourself to develop that type of appetite?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do some online training with a couple people, like clients and stuff.
Okay.
And I'll start them off big or small. And I'm like, man, it's too much. And I'm like, okay, keep trying to do what you do. Add a protein shake instead of a whole meal.
Right. So like a meal replacement.
Calories, get meal replacement in if you want to. I'm like, because eventually your metabolism is going to adjust and burn through that, and you're gonna want more food. So it is it's a preparation type of thing. But like even my wife's done a couple competitions.
I think I've seen that too.
She did some bikini stuff back in the day, and she used to say the same thing. Like, at first it was tough. And
yeah,
then,
like stuffing yourself. Huh?
Yeah, once the metabolism really get the revving up, you burn through it all, man. So
now everybody's body is different. I've seen
genetically,
that. Yeah, genetically.
Yeah, science. Yeah.
Do you remember the time frame, I guess you can say, that it took for your body your metabolism rather, to adjust to how much food you were taking in?
I don't remember the time frame, but I can say probably about a month.
Okay. That's shorter than I thought.
No, yeah, it wasn't like a whole big time process, because now you're working out consistently too, so you're burning calories as well. So you just, little by little, you notice I'm getting hungry.
There you
and
go.
Then once you start eating, 3 hours at a time, you really start to notice about 2.5 hour mark. Like, okay,
It's time.
Time to eat.
It's time to eat again. Hey, I was liking the way that sounds right there, man. Now, when it comes to the faith part, because I always have noticed that you definitely incorporate your beliefs in Christ into everything that you do, man. And I know that you're just as human as anybody else, to where your faith gets tested a lot. How are you able to always remember that this right here is my safe haven? This right here is where I draw everything from, even in the midst of all the earthly things. How do you keep your feet on the ground?
A good support team always helps. My wife. My
Absolutely.
mother, my grandmother, she's a pastor too.
Hey, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
You got top ladies, man.
Always.
Top ladies.
Yeah, that's how it's always been. I can't get away from it. So that helps. I always try to remember a Bible verse or two. So like Jeremiah 29:11, Colossians 3:23, and 1 Chronicles 4:10 are kind of Bible verses that I stick with. So
Now one of them is on your belt, on your weight belt, isn't it?
yeah.
Which one is that?
Colossians 3:23.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much what it's saying. I don't ever quote verses word for word.
I got you.
That guy.
I got you, man.
For whatever you do, like when you're doing your work, do it as if the Lord is standing there.
I got you. That's the message.
Yeah, and work unto the Lord, not unto men. So pretty much the way I look at it is, when I'm in the gym, I'm not trying to impress anybody but Him.
Absolutely.
So my weightlifting, my bodybuilding is still giving Him the glory with what I do. Same thing with, anything, sports or anything. Like, that's how we give God glory, by playing the game we do, because he's given us the opportunity to do it. So that's how I look at it. Jeremiah 29:11 is what bodybuilding is to me. It's pretty much God saying he has a plan for our lives. You know what I'm saying? And, he sometimes those things can change. So for me, I wanted to be a basketball player. I wanted to go overseas. Like, I was trying to do all this, and it was like, And I found a different passion within 2 months, you know what I'm saying, where it was his plan. Like, through fitness, I've been able to move. I met my wife. Like, I've done a whole bunch of stuff through this already. Traveled. Like, I've done stuff already. So with
you went against the grain, but not for too long before you figured it out.
Right. And then 1 Chronicles 4:10 is the prayer of Jabez. And it's like, that's what I used to pray before games, too. So like, for whatever work, and the Lord bless me indeed, enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me away from evil so that I may be free from pain. And God answers requests. So basically, anytime we're trying to go do something, different territory, anything, I'm asking God to bless me while I'm walking in. You know what I'm saying? Protect me from any hurt, harm, and danger, and let's go do it. So those are what I use to try to stay humble.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Being humble, but also knowing how good you are.
Oh, definitely. Like, you're not going to tell me I don't work hard and I don't look good. Like, I ain't going to let that happen. I'm not cocky, but you know how it is.
Yeah. When you earn it, you earn it. You got to go ahead and say it. I love that. Work. What's your message to somebody that may be aspiring to do what you do specifically, or maybe if they're aspiring to do something else when it comes to work ethic? Julian Peters message, when it comes to work ethic.
Man, first of all, I always do the 5 Ps. So it's proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, if you're a teacher, a bodybuilder, a personal trainer, whatever, if you are not prepared and you have not planned out success, you're not going to be successful. Imagine being a teacher and going in the classroom with no curriculum, no syllabus. Like, your class is going to be terrible.
It's going to be bad.
Fired.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing with bodybuilding. Like, not just bodybuilding, anybody that has a dream, I get so tired of people having dreams, but they ain't putting nothing down on paper to fulfill their dreams. Even if it's baby steps, have something written down where, like, okay, I want to own a business. Okay, well, I'm going to figure out how to get a business loan. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to start drawing up a business plan. Like, have some stuff down in there.
Have some direction.
Have some direction. So with work ethic, that's basically how I look at it, man. I don't think anybody can outwork me. Period. So if I don't think anybody can outwork me, it's your job to prove to me that you can.
That's right.
And anything I do, to me, I look at as work. So, like I said, eating a meal is work to me. So if I'm working hard and I'm going to eat my meal, I'm going to stay consistent in my diet. If I'm lifting weights, I'm working hard, I'm doing that cardio, I'm working hard, I'm doing that because I'm giving my all in my work. I believe in my work ethic. You know what I'm saying? If you look at any great, Floyd Mayweather, crazy as he is, hardest worker in the gym.
Probably running now.
Always. You know what I'm saying? Even McGregor, he talks all that mess, but don't get it twisted. Like, he's in the gym. He's perfecting his craft. Yeah. Kobe, always in the gym. Like, all the greats that we talk to, they were in the gym. They worked their butt off. That's right. Did. So that's what work ethic is.
And, I always hate whenever the hard workers are called cocky.
Yeah.
And to me, even though they may not show respect by going and giving their opponent a great big hug, but to me they show the respect by how hard they prepare for every opponent. Definitely. You know what I mean? And so here's really what I really came in here on my mind. I said, I'm gonna ask this dude this question before I get out of here. Okay. And this is where we're gonna put the bow and the ribbon on it. When it comes to nutrition, what is the biggest misconception from somebody on the outside of this process looking in?
First of all, we can talk about this all day.
Oh, man, go in. I'm about to shut up and listen.
The keto product thing that's hot right now, leave that alone, y'all. Like,
leave it alone. I saw some of that, too.
These keto products, they're not real. They fake. Like, that's just another fad that they're doing to get you to start buying stuff. Like, leave that alone. A keto diet is pretty much low-carb diet, basically. That's how I look at it. So leave the keto alone. Like, any keto products, they don't work. They don't work.
Bottom line.
They're just trying to make money off you.
There you go.
I think one of the things that I see as the biggest misconception when I'm talking to people is they feel like starving themselves is the key. That's not going to do anything to your metabolic rate. That's not going to boost your metabolism. If your metabolism is not boosted, then how are you burning fat? How are you burning through food? So by you not eating, you're not doing anything but forcing your body to pretty much go into catabolic state and start eating your muscle and keeping you fat.
Right.
So a lot of people think, I want to lose weight. I'm going to lower all my calories. I'm going to barely eat this. And it doesn't work. And you might lose weight, but you end up skinny fat. To where
I know exactly
you're
what
not
you mean.
really
Skinny
lean, there's no muscle there, but you're skinny. It looks good, So I think, to me, that's one of the biggest misconceptions that I want people to stop doing, is thinking that if you want to be healthy, you stop eating. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, that's not smart at all.
Not even possible. So I guess it comes down to what it is you're eating.
Right. It comes down to what it is you're eating. It comes down to the clean eating.
Okay.
It comes down to the fact that you need to have portion control. It's so much out there online for people to learn from.
Right.
Bodybuilding.com, articles for days about diets, diet plans, proper proteins, proper carbohydrates, slow digesting carbohydrates, fast digesting carbohydrates, complex carbs. Like, all of that is, I found, when I did my education list, I did a presentation on nutrition, and I found all these lists and started giving them to our teachers, like that I was teaching in the class.
There you go.
I'm like, these are your options. It's like, then you go into portion control. You get a macro count if you want. Figure out how many calories that you want to eat a day. And then you start tracking those things. But the main thing with those things, like the word that's going to be wrapped around all that, is discipline.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see so many people want to start dieting and start prepping and doing all this. It lasts a day.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So,
they're disrespecting the craft.
Yeah, like, I think people, another, misconception is that, dieting is easy. And on top of dieting, I don't know if
that's a misconception.
How about this? Not dieting is easy. I think people think that dieting can have, I'm trying to figure out the word. Dieting can be, I guess, used in a way that makes you happy. Whereas I can still enjoy life. All the way instead of once a week. You know what I'm saying? And still get to where I want to go. Like, you can't keep going to McDonald's, or you can't keep having these terrible dinners thinking that it's healthy. Like, just because I eat corn doesn't make it healthy. Right. And you put cream cheese on the corn, everything else, it's not making it healthy. So I see a lot of people. You gotta put the bacon in the green beans, dog. I see a lot of people have these diets and plans and stuff, or they'll be eating, and it's like, but everything on your plate is not healthy. Just because you got chicken on your plate, you cooked it in all this sauce and stuff, you've killed it. Just like a salad, like you drown a salad in dressing and all these toppings, it's not healthy. Right. So that's another thing.
That's another one of those days right there. Man, Julian, I appreciate you spending some time with me right here, my brother. Problem, this right here was a show that I've been eager to do for a while.
I hope you liked it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope the people liked it. So I appreciate you all that took time to listen to this right here. And I'm going to be dropping one every week. So y'all stay tuned in to Sports Speak Podcast. I'm out.